this is what I look for. When I see a success, I'm looking for anything
to say that they didn't do it on their own?
Detain it, not the...
So civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law. But if true, it could rise to the level of criminality. And, you know, we'll see what happens after the DA looks and investigates.
Beyonce,
hard drives, tapes, and digital files containing footage that could destroy some of the
be
biggest names
unraveling
in the
private
entertainment
after a
industry. And at
bombshell
the center
court
of it all,
decision
Jay-Z
that nobody
and
thought
Beyonce,
possible.
the untouchable
Behind
power
her
couple who
flawless
now
public
find
image.
themselves in the
Sources
crosshairs
claim
of a
she has been
scandal
reduced to
so
tears,
explosive it
overwhelmed
threatens
by
to
the
shadowile
fallout of
their
stunning
belief.
legal blow to her
But the
family.
whispers started
The
immediately.
man known as
Homeland
Rymir
Security
Satterthwaite,
agents
who has
reportedly
long
unearthed
insisted
compromising
Jay-Z is his
footage
father,
from Diddy's
has
personal
reportedly
archives,
secured an
footage that
extraordinary
allegedly shows
victory in
celebrities in
family court,
situations so
one that
scandalous,
grants him
so
half of
deeply
Jay-Z's
incriminating
fortune.
that it's hard
Now
to fathom how
symbolic
any of
acknowledgement.
them will
But
recover
a
if the
massive
details
share
go
of the
public.
empire built
And the
across
Carters,
music,
their names are
fashion,
being
sports,
thrown around
and
like
business.
confetti in the
And
chaos of
because
this
much of that
unfolding
empire
drama.
is tied
The
to
word on the
Beyonce's
street is
own
that
companies.
Diddy, feeling
The decision
betrayed
has
by
shaken
Jay-Z
not
and
only
Beyonce's
Jay-Z's
lack of
family,
support during his...
felonies. I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And it seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, you know, I don't want to see him go down for something that, you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
But hers as well. For years, Beyonce has withstood whispers of betrayal, from infidelity rumors to the infamous elevator incident, without letting the cracks show. But this is something far heavier than scandal. This is a legal ruling that cuts deep into decades of wealth and stability, placing her directly in the crossfire of her husband's past. Sources describe her as devastated, betrayed, and furious at the thought that Jay-Z's hidden history could drag down everything she has built. The shock comes not just from the financial stakes, but from the underdog story that seems to have played out. Rymir, once brushed aside as a fame seeker,
He took them to some apartment building, and they did what they did in there. Talked a little bit, had a good time, party, and I guess had. I can't fully talk as my mom because I'm not my mom. I'm just telling you guys what she told me. It was this, and I honestly just believe her. It's just no doubt.
chance of winning against one of the most powerful moguls in entertainment, now stands as a victor. His late mother, Wanda, had spent years pleading with the courts to force paternity tests, insisting she had been involved with Jay-Z back in the early 1990s. Those pleas were ignored, sealed, or dismissed. Yet decades later, her son has broken through where she could not. For Jay-Z, this marks one of the most humiliating defeats of his career. His lawyers had long portrayed Rymir as a man obsessed with chasing headlines through endless legal battles. But in this courtroom, that argument collapsed. The narrative of a son denied his father's acknowledgement resonated more than the polished defenses of a billionaire mogul. Jay-Z's team vows to appeal, but for now, the ruling stands, and the number tied to is staggering. The ripple effects are immediate and dangerous for Beyonce. Her financial empire is deeply woven together with her husband's. The couple have shared investments, co-owned properties, collaborated on tours, and present themselves as a single, unbreakable brand. If Jay-Z's wealth is carved up or assets frozen, her businesses and fortune risk being pulled down with his. That is why whispers in the industry are growing louder. Beyonce may be preparing to...
No, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
...walk away. Insiders claim she has already turned to her legal team, exploring ways to shield Ivy Park, Parkwood Entertainment, and her personal fortune from the fallout. For her, the choice may no longer be about loyalty or forgiveness. It may be survival, a decision to sever ties with Jay-Z in order to protect herself from financial ruin. It raises a harsher question than money could ever answer. Does Beyonce even want to remain by his side? This court ruling hasn't only shaken the foundation of wealth. It has reopened buried wounds from Jay-Z's past, the kind he fought to keep hidden. Rymir isn't the first to claim him as a father. Years earlier, a woman named Letitia Messier declared she was his daughter.
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
Backing her story and insisting they had seen the relationship that produced her. One relative even went online writing, "I know exactly how it happened. I was the one who introduced them. Whispers have long floated that Jay-Z quietly purchased her a house in Maryland, covered bills, and demanded she never display photos linking him to her. If even fragments of those rumors are true, then Rymir's were maybe less an ending and more the start of a chain reaction. The stakes are enormous. If one claimant managed to topple Jay-Z's defenses, others might feel emboldened to come forward. Could Letitia pursue her own lawsuit? Could more names emerge from the shadows of the 1990s and early 2000s? In an era when public images collapse overnight and courts show little hesitation in moving against celebrity power, the possibility is not far-fetched. Every new allegation would dig Beyonce deeper into a nightmare she never asked for. She has built herself into a global brand, a cultural institution as recognizable as Apple or Nike, and yet behind closed doors she is reportedly breaking under the strain, in tears as a marriage she once held up as unshakable begins to splinter. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's camp insists this is a temporary setback, that appeals will overturn the ruling and that the empire will stand untouched. But
Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got it after. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your whooped.
Industry insiders whisper about private meetings, accountants scrambling to safeguard assets, and nervous business partners quietly weighing their options. Nobody wants to tie their future to a dynasty that suddenly looks vulnerable. And this isn't confined to music. Jay-Z's reach extends into sports management, streaming platforms, luxury goods, and sprawling real estate. If half of that wealth is stripped away or control shifts to new hands, the shock waves will hit entire industries. Beyonce, once the embodiment of unity beside him, is said to
be... Don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me.
Quietly mapping her escape. Few could fault her. She endured public humiliation when Jay-Z confesses infidelity. But that was a private matter laid bare. This is different. This is global headline news. Portray her husband not just as unfaithful, but as a man with secret children and buried pasts. Every move she makes now will be dissected. If she files for divorce, critics will accuse her of abandoning him in his darkest hour. If she stays, people will say she surrendered her dignity and wealth to shield a man who deceived her for decades. And beneath it all are the whispers of more hidden payoffs. Insiders have long hinted that Jay-Z's billions have quietly settled potential scandals, buying silence. If those settlements exist, they could surface through ongoing legal discovery, dragging new names and stories into the light. Imagine not one but several individuals stepping forward, each claiming to share his bloodline. That would not be scandal. It would be dynasty collapse.
At that time, I remember thinking, I can't be mad at her because that is what the media portrayed.
That turns living legends into cautionary tales. What once appeared to be the perfect union of power, music, and influence now looks increasingly fragile, besieged by forces beyond their control. And the hardest question lingers in the air. What did Beyonce truly know? Has she long been bracing for this reckoning, aware of shadows looming behind her husband? Or is she only now discovering just how delicate the empire is?
Beyonce for sure. I love her. I love Beyonce. Jay-Z too, I really admire the both of them.
The Carter fortune is far more delicate than most people realize. Roc Nation, the jewel in Jay-Z's crown, is bound to management deals, publishing rights, and worldwide touring contracts that lean heavily on Beyonce's star power. Ivy Park, once a glittering fashion venture, has already shown cracks after the split with Adidas. Their multi-million-dollar homes in Bel Air, New York, and the Hamptons are tied up in joint ownership. Even their investments in fine art, tech startups, and streaming ventures are intertwined. If Rymir's courtroom holds, slicing assets in half, the process could unravel the entire Carter financial structure.
I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people.
The question becomes, has Beyonce already mobilized her legal team to protect her side of the empire? Quiet murmurs suggest she has begun moving assets under Parkwood Entertainment, creating walls around revenue streams Jay-Z cannot reach. If true, it is an unmistakable act of self-preservation. In the world of billion-dollar dynasties, paperwork often carries more weight than vows. A financial split has a way of signaling a personal one, and speculation is already swirling that Beyoncé may be laying the foundation for the most seismic divorce the music world has ever seen. The image of Beyoncé stepping away, not out of heartbreak, but to safeguard a legacy, would rewrite cultural history. What grips people most is the contrast between the persona she presents and the life she may have been living in private. On stage and in interviews, she has remained untouchable, polished, poised, and never dragged into scandal. Yet whispers say she has long been the fixer behind the scenes, quietly managing the fallout from Jay-Z's mistakes. The fury she has tucked into her lyrics over the years now feels like foreshadowing. She never allowed the chaos to spill into the spotlight until now. This ruling forces her in.
Beyonce.
Gorgeous, a stab to my self-esteem.
If half of what she has built is suddenly at risk, silence is no longer a shield. Does she strike back with a bold statement, controlling the narrative? Or does she retreat further into mystery, forcing the world to fill in the blanks? Her dilemma is brutal. One side of her life is deeply personal. Wife, mother, partner betrayed by revelations that would shatter anyone. The other is corporate. Beyoncé the brand, a billion-dollar institution whose choices reverberate across industries. Fans are left wondering, does she already know about these long-buried...
Beyoncé and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them.
...claims and choose to endure them quietly? Or is she just as blindsided, her loyalty costing her more than she ever imagined? If she knew, her silence raises questions about what she has sacrificed to preserve their empire. If she didn't, the betrayal is deeper, and her tears belong to a woman realizing her marriage may have been a trap disguised as a partnership. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's carefully constructed image is collapsing in real time. For decades, he sold himself as the hustler who rose from the streets to the boardroom, the family man providing his children with the life he never had. Standing beside Beyoncé, he embodied the idea of redemption and reinvention. But this court ruling punctures a myth. Instead of a tightening control, he now looks like a man cornered by ghosts from the past. Ghosts that refuse to stay buried. If Rymir's success stands, what prevents others from stepping forward? Could Letitia Messier, emboldened by the precedent, pursue recognition again? Could even more names